So we want to keep talking about this issue with Facebook. Spencer, let's start with you because you have such great insights into this matter. Is it even possible for the government, our government, to regulate Facebook? Is it too unruly for them, too complex for them?
I think they have a very difficult time regulating any innovative tech or disruptive technology because their whole institution has been set on regulating phone lines. Well, phone lines don't exist anymore in the way they did when many of these members came to Congress. They probably remember, many of them, rotary dial telephones. So how do you take that group and get them to go after a disruptive technology or a new technology? And I think it's one of the biggest crises we face is the death of original content news, reporters. There was an interesting.
You feeling okay? You're alive still, right?
Yeah,
Julia?
but
My pulse, I'm here.
yeah. But it is. I think it's scary for democracy.
You know, Facebook has what, 2-point-something million users?
Billion.
Billion
Yeah.
users. Yeah, it was. Last time I checked, I think we have 300 and some million people in the United States. So how does the U.S. regulate it? It's everywhere. I mean, you know, so I don't know the answer to that. But what I know is that there's an individual responsibility to get information in a democracy, and this era makes that very difficult because the algorithms on not just Facebook. You know, I'm old enough that I still have a Yahoo mail account, so I go on there, and I'm always embarrassed when I click on Yahoo because it shows me the things that it thinks I'm interested in, and clearly I think the Utah Jazz is and science fiction movies are far more important than politics because that's what Yahoo has decided I want to see, and what I should see is what you decide is at the beginning of the news on KUER, what's on the cover of the Salt Lake Tribune, you know, where people have thoughtfully considered what are the most important stories today.
Well, so if you kind of take your analysis there, that they're showing us what they think we want to see, and we are the targets. Is that the idea? We're the targets of all of this. Julia, how do we protect ourselves at all? I mean, really, what can we do if we are the targets? At least we know that we are.
Is this the fund drive pitch that she's going to make right now?
Okay. You can support your public radio station today.
Oh, that was perfect.
No, I think the government will have a role to play, and he mentioned telecommunications in the early part of the 20th century. The only time government steps in is when there's a problem, right? And so you started seeing these companies get too big to fail. We saw it with the banks, and government did have to go in and say, you know, these companies are too powerful. They control too much information, and especially with what happened in the 2016 presidential election, with Russia being able to influence that, our data should be regulated just as we regulate our financial markets. I think we're going to see a push for that after this Facebook fallout, and especially what happens in 2020. And we'll see how Facebook reacts to what the failures of the company in the 2016 election.
Regulating data, what is that? I mean, because you can regulate wires, you can regulate, you can regulate money, but data. I mean, if Disney's movies are too popular, do you start saying, well, you're now a monopoly, and so we're not going to let you make these kinds of movies anymore?
This is why the millennials are going to do a complete workaround, and government as we know it is going to be much different in 20 years from now. There may not be, electric wires to regulate. With solar and with batteries we are just seeing a massive shift in technology quicker than we've ever seen before. It took 3 generations to get rid of a legal pad. I mean, somebody said, why do we have 2 sizes of notepads? We've got 11 by 14 and 8.5 by 11. This generation is moving so much more rapidly than ever before, and it's going to be a different world.
What's a legal pad?
Exactly.
Proving your point right there. Okay, thank you for your comments on this very important issue.